Hey everybody, here is the final for the buddy build between me and Sean. It's kind of got pushed back a little bit, and I apologize for that. Had a little bit of complications and got a little busy, but here is the final. This is the Ford Lotus Cortina. I think it's about a 66. So, I went with the red and gold paint scheme. I didn't make it into a race car. I just kept it as a standard. And I think the one that Jackie Stewart raced, when he raced the Ford Cortina, was red and gold like this as well. The tail lights I 3D printed. These are the decals that Sean gave me. I had a lot of complications with this front suspension. I lost one of the lights, the turn signal lights. The headlights I 3D printed, and the grill. But I lost one of them lights, so I'll have to just reprint one. I just haven't had time, and I didn't want to postpone this anymore because Sean's actually waiting for me to get done and post my video. So I made all the glass out of just flat styrene clear. I think it's evergreen plastic. I think that's the brand of it, but it's just clear, and I just glued it in. I think the back piece is a little loose right now, and when I glued in the dash and the body and all that, I actually used a 2-part epoxy clay. That way I could get the dash exactly where I wanted. I backed it up with that 2-part epoxy, and then when I put the rolling chassis in, I used that. I also used that to hold the back end, which unfortunately it kind of filled in that gap a little bit, and you can kind of see a little bit of the white. I still have to paint the white that's at the bottom. I haven't done that yet, but I'm going to get to it. The grill is 3D printed. So if I stop that, it's 3D printed with a mesh inside. And it does have the Lotus Cortina badge in there, or the Lotus badge. There you can see the mesh. It's a little out of focus. You can see how dirty my lens is on my camera. So if we pop the hood on this, yeah, you can see the actual mesh there. Here is the engine. I did wire it with spark plugs and everything like that. I put a water hose in it. I didn't put a battery in it. That would just be like they put the battery in the trunk or something like that. But I use those wire ferrules for the velocity stacks for the intake. I sanded down the carbs a little bit and put that in there, and I used that 2-part epoxy clay to glue those on and kind of make it so it had a nice bond. This was the first fully resin kit I ever worked on. I have not done much with resin. I've done a little bit of casting with it, making molds and all that. It worked really good. There was a lot of sanding, but I think I got the body pretty smooth for how much sanding and cleanup there was. The only problem I had was the tires. Some of the rims cracked and broke, and then the tires. The front seemed a little wide because they're sticking out, and I did so much different on this side. I'm gonna have to break this one free and redo it, and I don't want to wait no more to post this. Like this wheel, I actually kind of broke it getting it in there, so there's a little bit of that clay so just hanging in there. So for the bottom, I kind of wanted to show it like this. Here's where I had these gaps, so I used that 2-part clay. I still got to paint it, and I put it in there just to get a real strong bond. It worked pretty good. And then I used it to glue in the suspension to get those perfectly lined up. So I had to make sure I painted that black before I finished the video. Makes it look a lot better. But at least I got to show you what I did to fill them gaps in and all that. The exhaust pipe, that is one of them flexible tubes you can get at Hobby Lobby. I can't remember the brand. KS is a brand. It's a flexible tube. They're usually kind of bent up when you get them, but it says right on the package flexible. And if you take your time and do it right, they also have the spring tools that you can use to bend it. So they have these springs. You can put the tube in and flex it a little bit. It helps keep without kinking it. They have a bunch of sizes, and they also have a tube cutter. Works pretty good on the small stuff, but that's 2 different sizes. This is a little bit bigger. I flared that one end out just by putting a stick in there, putting a dowel in there like this, and then just kind of working like that, soft enough to do that. And then this was lead solder, and I try to flex those like the real car, so you kind of can tell in the engine bay. And then I just put those in there and super glued it. That was a nice tight snug fit. And then I did a couple hangers for it to hold it up, kind of make it so it ain't just floating. And I got a pipe pointing down. So the interior is that brown. There's another look of the engine. You can see there's the headers. And I'm not gonna lie, this was a challenge. This was the first fully resin kit I've made. It was a very good learning experience, because I did a lot of stuff on here that never really had the need to do, like make my own suspension, make my own headers, make the tail lights and the headlights and stuff like that out of clear. But it was a lot of fun because of that, but it was a challenge. So this kit almost got me. The front tire really does bother me, but when I put this on the shelf, I'll put that tire to the back, and maybe I'll have it sitting there for a while, and I will get better at that and maybe learn how to fix that. I was thinking about maybe popping that off and using that 2-part epoxy clay as well, and straightening that up, because it toes in and it's kicked out. This side's not too bad. I think that one piece that is on the tire on the back side, I think I end up sanding too much, excuse me, off of it, and end up messing it up. So, but I think it looks pretty cool. So until next time, guys, I'll talk to you then. Let me know how you like it. And also check out Sean if you haven't checked him out. I'm sure all you have. But a great build. Thanks, Sean. Have a good one. Bye.